Inside the mahogany-lined conference rooms of Mumbai's film studios, standard negotiations usually follow a predictable script. But casting a living sports icon for a massive biopic immediately rewrote the rules. Rather than letting executives debate box office milestones, the athlete himself stepped in. He required the studio to bypass back-end deals and grant the actor a flat 10% of the film's net profits directly. The young actor sitting across the table had leverage of his own. With his computer science background, he spent nights writing code. He gifted the studio an algorithm that shrinks cinematic files by 40%, perfectly preserving image quality. Anant had proven he could solve high-level technical bottlenecks. By providing this software, he positioned himself as a technological partner capable of streamlining the studio's entire post-production workflow. That same afternoon, the director handed over the finalized screenplay. It was a massive 347-page document covering over a decade of complex personal and professional history. Expected to take days, he opened the first page and read the entire 3-hour cinematic script at the table in exactly 28 minutes. Processing information at this speed required a specific cognitive architecture. He utilized perfect photographic recall to capture the text, alongside elephant memory to lock in the emotional subtext. To prove he hadn't just skimmed the pages, he instantly recited exact dialogue from pages 147 and 89. More importantly, he correctly identified the underlying psychological motives driving the characters in those specific moments. This cognitive capacity allowed a total download of a human profile. He internalized the subject's entire psychological architecture before filming even began. To capture the source of the athlete's mindset, the production left the corporate towers of Mumbai for the middle-class geography of Ranchi. Rather than locking himself in a screening room to study match footage, Anant relocated into the athlete's childhood home. He ate meals with the family and observed the quiet, everyday dynamics between parents and children. He discovered that the captain's famous on-field calmness was a learned behavior. It traced back to a philosophy taught by his father, who consistently reinforced that panicking achieves absolutely nothing. Within weeks, those observations took root. Without consciously attempting to imitate anyone, Anant began responding to questions with the exact dry humor, measured cadences, and subtle body language of the man he was preparing to play. To achieve true cinematic embodiment, an actor has to strip away their own ego. They have to empty themselves out completely to become a perfectly calibrated vessel for someone else's lived reality. Capturing the psychology was half the equation. The physical authenticity required facing current national team members inside a professional practice net, entirely exposed to their scrutiny. This was peer review at the highest level of sport. Elite athletes analyzed his stance, his footwork, and his bat movement, fully prepared to call out an imposter. Facing an aggressive delivery from a fast bowler, Anant executed the signature helicopter shot flawlessly. He relied purely on absorbed muscle memory, leaving no need for camera trickery or digital replacement in the final cut. The professional players recognized the work he had put in. They shared high-level tactical advice and accepted him into their circle, bonded by the shared understanding that operating under immense public pressure is a privilege. Sports cinema often falls flat because it relies heavily on athletic mimicry. It only rings true on screen when the performer demonstrates the capacity to withstand the exact psychological pressure felt by elite competitors. The demands of the production eventually reached the darkest chapter of the story. During a difficult night shoot, the crew prepared to film the tragic death of the captain's first love. Anant bypassed standard acting techniques. He accessed a deeply personal reservoir of empathy to channel incredibly genuine devastation, bringing the entire set to a standstill with the sheer reality of his grief. While pushing himself emotionally on set, he was simultaneously executing a parallel technical breakthrough in post-production. He developed completely new visual algorithms, optimized to preserve dynamic action in sports cinematography. This engineering work resulted in a historic corporate partnership. An American audio giant agreed to establish a joint research facility, allowing Anant's visual filters to symbiotically lock with their proprietary 3D sound processing. The production now balanced on two fronts: a performance that accessed the absolute depths of human empathy, and a technical shift in how that experience is rendered for the audience. The shoot culminated with the most heavily scrutinized moment in Indian sporting history, recreating the 2011 World Cup winning shot inside the actual stadium. Surrounded by 30,000 extras, Anant connected with the delivery perfectly. His expression as he followed through captured the exact emotional convergence of a nation's triumph and a captain's immense relief. When the trailer dropped, the real-world reaction was explosive. It shattered internet viewership records within hours, drawing heavy praise even from the hardest fans in rival cricket nations around the globe. Yet, amid projections of massive global box office returns and overwhelming fame, Anant remained anchored. His physical and spiritual foundation never strayed from his family's modest restaurant in the narrow lanes of Old Delhi. By utilizing profound intellect and raw authenticity, Anant had honored the legend's truth. The resulting performance secured a lasting impact that transcended standard star power.